Imagine standing on the deck of a slowly sinking ship. Ahead of you is not just the ocean, but a 30-meter high wall of rock that is impossible to climb. And behind you, hundreds of people scream in the darkness as waves as high as houses sweep them one by one to the ocean floor. However, the real horror was not when the ship sank, but what rescue ships saw days later. A lifeboat full of bodies that disappeared into the fog and has haunted sailors for decades. This is the story of the SS Valencia, the tragedy that turned Vancouver's coastline into the graveyard of the Pacific. January 1906. The SS Valencia departed San Francisco for Seattle. The weather was terrible. Visibility was zero. Captain Oscar Johnson committed a fatal navigational error called dead reckoning. He thought he had passed through the strait, but in fact, they were barreling straight into the sharp coral wall of Vancouver Island. At midnight, a loud bang was heard. The hull had ruptured. Water was pouring in. The power was completely cut off. Due to the ship's tilt, lifeboats were haphazardly lowered. Some hiccups, he said, throwing women and children into the freezing water. Only a few survivors made it to shore, but they were trapped beneath a sheer cliff that couldn't be climbed. The most haunting detail from eyewitnesses was that as the ship began to break apart, the remaining passengers gathered on the upper deck and sang nearer. My God, to the in unison amidst the storm before being swallowed by the waves. Rescue boats arrived, but they could only watch from a distance. The waves were too strong to approach. They could only watch as hundreds of people froze to death and drowned, unable to do anything. Months after the incident, a lifeboat was found floating in a hidden sea cave, resembling the SS Valencia, in the same location, complete with dark figures on its deck. Inside it lay a human skeleton, still neatly seated. For the next 27 years, sailors frequently reported seeing a ghost ship. Miraculously, in 1933, lifeboat number 8 of the SS Valencia was found floating with its paint still in good condition, as if it had just been lowered, even though 27 years had passed. The SS Valencia was more than just a maritime accident. It's a reminder that in the face of nature's fury, humanity's most advanced technology of its time was merely a toy. To this day, hikers on the West Coast Trail often report hearing faint singing amidst the thick fog, as if the Valencia's passengers were still waiting to be rescued. Was it just the wind, or was it a dark memory that refused to leave that shore? Which do you think is more terrifying? Death at sea, or becoming part of the legend of a ghost ship forever?